Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fresh 2021 AFL season video on the Blue Abroad channel. It has been a great break, I must say. To be honest, I think we've all missed the footy a lot, especially those of us here in Victoria, because we haven't gone to a game yet. But it is almost mid-January right now, and the guys got back at training yesterday. The women are about to start their season on the 28th of January as well. So it's all happening, and I can just smell the bubble of the footy hype start to just filter through. And I really did enjoy the break. I made sure to refresh, step away, because sometimes I think you need to step away to realize how much you love something. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling refreshed, and I'm starting to get really excited about the season. But what I wanted to do in this video, I want to talk a little bit about my feelings and what I'm thinking, and do a general season preview. And I'll do some more videos after this about most improved and goal kicking leaders and things like that. But I will just start off by being just totally honest, as I always am. And there's this notion about it's year 6 of the 5-year rebuild. We have to be playing finals or bust. And there's all of that. And then there's going back to the footy. And it's just such an important part of our lives for those of us who follow the sport and the club as closely as we do. And I think I've not allowed myself to get too excited, which is not like me. I usually just get into the moment and let my emotions take over and all of that. But I think there's a little bit of trepidation because I don't 100% feel like, or know, I should say, if there's going to be a season and if we're going to go to the footy. And I think I'm scared to get excited to my full capacity about the year because there's just this cloud of uncertainty and, are we going to have another lockdown? Are we going to have another hub situation? I don't think there's a question mark about the season, in my opinion. Like, we're going to get a season up and running. I don't think the AFL can last 2 years the way they did last year. I don't know if they can do it again. So I am very confident that we'll be going to the footy. I think I'm just scared, honestly. I think I'm just scared of what could happen, and there's a little bit of an unknown, and I don't want to put all my eggs in the footy season basket for it to be taken away again like it was in 2020. But I don't think you can live like that. You've got to just go for it. Let your emotions feel what they need to feel. And so, yeah, I'm pumped. And also because this group, I genuinely have a lot of excitement about this group. There's a lot of potential, as we all know. Potential doesn't mean anything unless it's executed on. But when I actually have had a chance now to really sit back and think about, okay, where have we come from and where are we going? Are we going in the right direction? And I am very confident that we're absolutely going in the right direction. There are some question marks, which I'll touch on a little later in this video. But I mean, let's think about it. 2018 to 2019, it was just about, are these boys able to just play a game of football because their bodies were so small? We sort of got that towards the end of 2019. Obviously, Tiggy takes over at the midway point of 2019. You can argue that finals were not on the agenda. Well, they definitely weren't on the agenda. The season was dead. So there's less pressure on the guys to perform. And they did well. So going into 2020, a lot of excitement because of what we showed at the back end of 2019. I don't have that same excitement going into 2021. Let me explain. The way that 2020 ended really left a sour taste in my mouth. We didn't finish strongly. We finished poorly. Whatever. Hub, condensed fixture, whatever you want to put it down to. At the end of the day, there was just a sour taste in the mouth. And it came from a disappointment about the group. Because there's so much, I think anyway, there's so much better than what they showed towards the end of 2020. So coming into 2021, it's more about, they better atone themselves, We have to atone for what we did. I thought we started okay in 2020. We had that patch pretty much after the Melbourne game. So from Geelong up until probably Port Adelaide, we played some really exciting football, which when I was looking at it, I was thinking, this will hold up in finals. This is finals football, the way we're moving the ball forward. So I felt like we established an identity. And we went away from, and that's the one thing I was calling for in 2020. We went away from the 10, 11, 12 goal beltings where we were just non-competitive. And I think in all bar maybe 2 or 3 games, we were, in a winning position or could have been in a winning position late or in the second half of all the games in 2020. So that was a tick for me, and I did mention that in the season review. So going into 2021, it's got to be about, we know about these lapses, these mental lapses, these 5-goal swings. I don't know what it is. Coaching, maturity, experience, as coaches and as players, I don't know. But the reality is they now have to be the focus of what needs to be eliminated. And I think we did address that with the players that we brought in. I think Sard and Williams, yes, they are only 2 players, and 2 players don't mean wins, but I look at the 2 of them, I look at where they're going to play, and I look at the holes that we did have in defence. For me, Sard is effectively a Simo replacement with with more speed, less wear and tear, and he's right in the prime of his career, whereas Simo was towards the end. Still very serviceable, but towards the end. We know that Sard's going to be at the top of his game, barring injury. And then there's Williams, who is a very, very good player. Unproven as a midfielder. He's done it a few times. Let's be honest, we're hanging our hat on this 2019 prelim and what he did there. That's what we are really hanging our hat on. So let's not get too carried away. I'm very excited for him. But this comes my first question of the season. Did we get our recruiting right? Right now on paper, it looks phenomenal. Sard, Williams, top 10 players in the team, you'd think really, really, close to A graders. I think Sard is as close to an A grader as he can be. I think he still has a level to go. And Williams, A grade half-back flanker, injury concerns, health concerns. Now he's a midfielder. How is it going to go? Bit of an unknown. So my question is, did we finally get a big name recruit right? Now, I go back to Dale Thomas. We spent a lot of money on that transaction. Did we get our return on investment? I say no. A few things happened out of his control. Obviously, the bad injury in his first game for the club, ankle, whatever. He couldn't get his body right. We didn't get what we paid for. Love the guy, great locker room guy, all of that, didn't get what we paid for. The next one was Mitch McGovern. It's year 3 of the Mitch McGovern experience, and I don't think we've got our return yet. Is there time for him to make amends? Absolutely, there's always time. You're only one great season away from, people jumping back on you. Do I back him in to improve this year? I do, but the reality is we haven't really nailed that yet. Williams is the third one who's on similar money to the previous 2, maybe a little bit more. And I know that there's a couple of schools of thoughts. Oh, you can't talk about the money once they're in the club. I totally disagree. These are the key and core investments of our football club that we make, and we need to get a return. So my question mark is definitely on what Zach Williams is going to be able to produce. The reality is, for me, if he can be an All-Australian squad at a bare minimum, All-Australian squad type player, I think with him and Cripps and Walsh getting us started out of the midfield, huge tick. Very excited. My next question mark is on the forward line. And my question I'm very interested to see is, how is this forward line going to function? I've pretty much discounted the whole Charlie Curnow experience now. Not to say he's done. I'm sure he'll play again. But I personally can't go into 2021 confident that we're going to get anything close to Charlie's best. So I'm just going to focus on what we do have, which I know we've got Harry, I know we've got Mitch, I know we've got Levi. Don't know if he's going to play forward all year, but that's what I know we do have. And this is a big year it's a big year for Mitch, and it's a big year for Harry. Harry, for me, is ready. He's ready to take that next level. He's a guy that just needs a clean run at it. He had a very interrupted preseason in 2020. Touch wood, so far so good for 2021. He looks like he's doing the extras off away from the club. He's engaged at the speed project in Melbourne. He's working on his agility off the mark. He already is quick. But to see him commit to that, it's a big year. And the reality for Harry, if I'm his manager, it's Harry. It's a contract year. It's the last year of your contract. What you do in 2021 is going to determine what your next contract's going to be. He can really set himself up right now for 2021. And it's a common theme in world sport, the NBA in particular. These guys that come up to their contract year, they have their best seasons because they know there's a lot at stake. Harry can earn himself a really long-term lucrative deal if he has a great season in 2021. But what does that look like? Can he kick 50 goals? Can he become a Coleman medal contender? I don't think he's quite there yet, because the reality is he hasn't yet kicked 30 goals in a season. But I do expect big things from Harry this year, and Mitch as well. Yes, I know that we haven't got what we paid for in the first 2 years of the experience with him, but quality player, player, paid well, and with that comes pressure. Guess what? This is professional sport. As a human being, total respect for him and what he does, but we're talking about the players on the team. So it's a big year for them, and the question mark's over. Okay, well, who's going to lead us in the forward line? What's the forward line going to look like? How are we going to move? How are we going to set up? There's still quite a few guys in there for me who I don't really know what are they yet. And the reason why I say that is we talk about the Cunninghams, midfielder forward, the Martins, midfielder forward. Fisher obviously said that he's going to. It's been told that he's going to be playing a little bit more forward, but midfielder forward. So I want to see a few more of these guys just solidify themselves, not in the team, but just as players in the league. And I just believe they're in that sweet spot to do that. So that's my other question mark for the season that I'll be looking out for. The next one is about the coaching, honestly, and I think this is not. It's not a criticism. It's just I'm very aware. Like nothing is certain yet. I can't say with certainty Teague's our next premiership coach or these assistant coaches are going to be there when we win a flag, because I do have question marks over the development of our mentality. That's probably one of my bigger question marks about what's going on with this group right now. What is the mentality of the group? What's the mental strength of the group? How do you improve mental strength? These are all questions that I don't know the answers to, but these are questions that come up for me. So there's that. And we didn't make any changes to the assistant coaches in the group. And I can't help but feel like if we don't perform well in 2021, then this will be another question that comes up, because I noticed a lot of the questions about the coaches come up in 2020. It didn't get addressed, and it is what it is. COVID, pandemic, funds were limited, all of that. So maybe that's a situation that's out of everyone's control. But the reality is we need to get better at these mental lapses. And that's the big one for me. That's the core focus for me, as I mentioned. Is it really finals or bust? It's a tough question to answer, because I can see the merit on both sides. On the one hand, year 6 of the 5-year rebuild, we don't play 18-year-olds in this group anymore, 19-year-olds. Walsh is the exception, but he can hold his own, very much so. But is it finals or bust? I went through and did the ladder predictor for the season, and I was very honest in my assessment. A lot of the teams that we play twice, I've split the games. The Collingwood, I think we've split 1-1. Port Adelaide 1-1, GWS 1-1, etc. I've got us winning, and it came up as 14 games, but in my head I said 13. So 13 to 14 games, for me, that gets us into finals. And I think it's warranted. The pressure has to be there. Like, yeah, guys, come on. You got to do it now. Now, if we don't make finals, a lot of people have asked that question. What happens if we don't make finals, but we play really well and it's just tough? Well, let's cross that bridge when we get there. But I think we'll know. I think we'll know by the way that they play. I think we'll know by their mentality. I think we'll know when things get tough, how they play. Because we saw what happened last year. When things got tough, the leaders didn't really do their job to their full potential. And I think that trickled through to the rest. So we have some improvement to come there for sure. However, based on what we look like at our best in 2020, I would assume that there's going to be internal improvement with this group because of their age profile and their bodies are maturing and things like that. Combined with that and the players we brought into the club, at the end of the day, Sard and Williams are going straight to this best 22 for 2 players that would have played in 2020. And that makes us better instantly. And I think that it will allow guys around them to walk a little taller. So is it finals or bust? I say yes, it is. It has to be finals. I am very mindful of the situation that, okay, it's very easy to say, yeah, you got to make finals. But the reality is there's 7 teams that I look at who I say, oh God, I can't see them missing finals under any circumstance, apart from injuries, obviously, which can impact any club. Collingwood, the one team that got a little bit weaker. I don't think they're going to be a pushover. No way. They're too good of a club. They're well coached. They're well drilled, and they are healthy at the moment. So I'm not just discounting Collingwood for the sake of it being Collingwood. And then you talk about, okay, there's one team that's going to be replaced. And then there's probably 3 or 4 teams after that 8 who are a genuine chance and have improved. I love what Freo did. I hate the Bombers, but I think they'll be solid. Don't discount what the Giants can do this year. I know they lost Jeremy Cameron, but I think they'll bounce back. There's a few teams in there that can really, really contend. And we're in that group. So I'm happy to be out of that bottom 4 group and in that middle group now. And it's just a matter of, there's a combination of things, as it always is. You know, the health, the luck, the fixture, what's happening week to week, the other teams, do they have injuries? Is there a suspension? There are so many things. But with us being back at games, we've got 9 games at the MCG, 8 games at Marvel. We're doing the things that we wanted to do 3-4 years ago in terms of, the off-field. We're very much successful off-field. And I know that the club has really become more of an off-field powerhouse first, and maybe now they want to translate into on-field, but it's got to happen this year. It's got to happen this year. We have to make the finals this year. If we win a final or lose a final, people have asked me about that. I don't know. If we lose a final by 10 goals, I obviously won't be happy. But it's got to be finals football. There has to be a movement forward with this group, not just for 2021. If we make finals in 2021, it's going to create more of a lure for more free agents and more trade targets to come to the club. So I'm hoping for that. Obviously, a lot of it comes down to health. We need to get a healthy run at it. We've already lost Charlie, so there is that. That's a big part of us. We have definitely lost some of our top 5 or 6 players every year for the last couple of years. We need to stop having that happen. But overall, I'm grateful to be talking about footy again. I'm grateful that the fact that it's going to come back, and I'm grateful for the fact that we get to go to games. Obviously, there's that cloud over my head. Are we going? What's happening? But I'm very excited, and I think it's going to be a very emotional round 1 for those that are at the game, for sure. I've thought about it. Like, am I going to cry? Maybe, probably. I don't know. If we win, who knows? Who knows? I just think it's going to be an emotional experience. But I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys all again. I think we had a really good 2020. And I'm looking forward to taking that connection to the next level in 21 and meeting a lot of you that I've never seen in real life. So those are my thoughts. Those are my initial thoughts. I really want to know what you're thinking though. Leave me a comment below. What are you thinking about the season? Go in depth. What's happening in your mind with this group? If there's something I haven't mentioned, please add layers to what I'm saying now. And let's get the ball rolling. Looking forward to bringing you guys more videos. I'll have some more coming out about most improved and leading goal kickers and best and fairest predictions. And if you have any other predictions that you'd like me to make, any other videos that you think you'd like me to make, let me know below and I'll chat to you then. Have a great one.